This is David Mamet from Lotto Odds. It is September 8th, 2025. Okay, I'm redoing this practice video to make it more simple and clear to understand because this is a really powerful strategy that's going to get your numbers down really low, under 10 numbers, and help you win big. So I'm going to try to make this, again, simple and more clear for you to understand. Okay, so I'm going to use Lotto Odds sister site of AI, Pick3.com, to work through this. You could do this on Lotto Odds, but I'm going to do this here. It doesn't have, Lotto Odds doesn't have these filters on there as of yet, but you still can utilize Lotto Odds to reduce the numbers as much as here. But anyway, starting off with here, I'm going to have you understand what these letters and numbers are, okay? These numbers here, the black, these are the winning numbers in consecutive order. All right, so you see the letter on the left, a letter on the right, and a number in the middle, D40V. So the winner is 126. So two letters together will identify or assign to a single box number. There's 220 box numbers, so each letter together would signify that box number. So D and V signifies 126. I'm going to show you how that works. It comes from the box number page. So 126D, 40V. So D, V, right there, 126. Here's the 40. So it's D, 40V, 126 right there. So you got vertical letters A to L. You've got horizontal letters M to V. Then you've got the letter cards, just numeric order from 1 here, look, to 120 for the single numbers. And you've got the doubles are 90 numbers, and you've got the triples 10, okay, numbers. And here's the total, 220 numbers, 220 box numbers. So simple to understand, but this is very powerful to utilize, okay? Now, we're going to work with the 1-2 sums, all right? And 1-2 sums here on AI Pick 3 is a lotto pools, okay? So you got the 1-1, 1-2, 2-2, and 2-1. You don't have to really know what 1-2, you don't have to know what the 1-2 sums are exactly explained to you, okay? You just have to know that they're symbols, and each of the symbols are different. 1-1 is different than 1-2. 1-2 is different than 2-2, so forth. That's all. They're symbols, and these symbols create patterns, okay? Now, what you're doing is simply looking at the letters and seeing either the one on the left or the one on the right and seeing what letter is overdue, okay, for that symbol. For example, the 1-1, okay? So for example, if you thought D was overdue, let's see what hits a lot here. You've got D, you've got A, or you've got I and J. Let's go through. So here's I, another one is E and D, A, J, A. So we know A is good. Okay, we know I is hitting a lot. J, I, J, I, D, J. Okay, so A, you could do A, I, J, A, D, I, J. So let's do the first one. Let's do A. If you thought A was overdue for this to hit, all right, let's utilize A and filter it out first, and then we'll add the other ones and see how many numbers we have. So we're doing 1-1. It's already isolated, and we're doing A. So we're doing here the single numbers. A lot of pools are only single numbers, so you don't have to worry about isolating for doubles or triples. So we're going to turn off all these like this. So simple, so simple. Now, let's look at how many numbers left. That's it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. When A hits next here, one of these four will win. Look, here's A, 018. There's 018 right there. Let's look for another A. There's another A, 014. There's 014 right there. Another A, there's another A, 014 and 023. Excuse me. That's a 023, 014, 023 right there again. All right, where's another A? Let's do one more. A is right there, is 014. See, they just repeat, these numbers repeat. And another thing, if you think a certain number out of these two may win constant, like 014, 023 will win, remove the other two, 016, 01. For example, if 014 had only one, you could play with just three. Okay, so now let's see how many draws we can get with this. All right, four numbers to catch the A, right? So we have four numbers is going to be depending where you play. So if it's 25 cents a number, we got $1. So and the prize is 37.50. 37 draws, my friends. 37 draws to catch this. But we want to catch the next draw, right? That's the ultimate goal, to catch the next draw. Oh, within 3, 4 draws like that, right? To make big money with this, because then instead of putting $1 down, we could do $2 or $5 and wind up winning big with that. Okay. Now let us add additional, because if we're dealing with just a few of these, let's add additional letters to be able to catch it better. All right. So we said A, D, I, and J. So let's add those. And then I'm going to show you later how to implement this remove draws filter to reduce the numbers even more when you're working with multiple letters. So we're doing what we're saying A, let's do A, D, I, and J. A, D, I, and J. So A, D, I, and J. A, D, I, and J. That tends to hit the most there. So we have 14 numbers here. So now you're playing with 14 numbers. Okay. So we're going to utilize filter hold up. Okay. We're going to utilize the filter here, the remove draw filter, to reduce those numbers. And when I say reduce, what it's going to do, it's not going to remove the numbers from the page. It's going to categorize them either in the green or the red. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to catch the green, okay, with less numbers. Let me show you how to do that. If you look at, you have 730 draws right now to be removed, right? If you look at that 730 draws, you've got a lot of red here, right? And you're trying to catch the green. So if you reduce how many draws you're going to remove, and within the draws, within 100 draws, it could be like 50 numbers, 60 numbers, whatever, 20 numbers. We don't know, okay, unless you count them one by one. But the program does this automatically for you. Now you see how you just removed, instead of 730 draws, you removed 100. Now you have more greens here. You see that you have red and it flips to green. Red flips to green. Two reds flips to green. Red flips to green. Okay, that's what you want. And if you're working with few numbers to catch, right, with the letters, then you can work these out, right, or play these out. So if two red comes out, no problem. The third one is your winner. All right. So here, if you go lotto pool now, look what happens. There you go. Oh yes, you're back to four here. These four will be the winner if green hits next. Okay, green hits next with one of these. Okay, A, D, I, or J. Okay, it will be one of these winners. Okay. And you can even look at the other pools if you're doing with lower numbers. Okay, let me just remove this from the cart here. All right. All right. So here, 1, 2, you have only 7 numbers if you want to try to catch that. 2, 2, you only have 1 number. Okay. 2, 1, you have only 4 numbers. Okay. So that's how that works. All right. So if you're shooting for the green, you do only 100. If you want to play safer, you could even go lower. Like that, 50 draws like that you want to take out, and you've got even more. Look at that, you've got even more green. All right, but for me, I would go even higher, because if I'm working with, say, I'm going to do 50, 150. If I'm working with only one, well, 1, 2 sums, okay, one pool like that, okay, then I could take out more. Look, you still have the 4 here. Here you have 6. Here you have 1. And here you have 2, like that. Okay, so you're able to take out more, and be able to see the green, and you'll be able to play more draws. Okay, so if you're going to shoot for 1-1, you could play more draws to try to get the green down to that. Now if you want to, hold on, I want to check the symbols for 1, 2, 2, 2, and 1, 2, 1. So we did A, D, I, and J. There's the D's, there's the I. Look at the D's. Look at all the I's and J's. Not bad at all. This is great. So here's the I's. Did we do A? I wonder if we throw an A in there as well. Oh, we did A. A, D, I, and J. A, D, I, and J. Not bad at all. So there's the A's. Look at the E's. You could probably work with E's. There's the I's, D's. Okay, and then the last one. Okay, here's the A's. There's the A's. There's the J's. Like that. All right. But most of the hits, as you can see, is with the 1, 1 and 1, 2 right there. All right. You can further reduce these by the pair of sums. For example, if you think that only the 8s and 9s are going to win because they tend to win all the time, turn this off and just turn on all the 8s and 9s like that. Right there, 8 and 9s, pair of sums. So you have the first one, now you're down to 3 numbers, not 4. Here you're down to 4 numbers. Okay, and here you're down no numbers and 2 numbers. So 2, 4, 6, 9 numbers. 9 numbers total that you can play with that for the 8 nines. That is not bad. And now it isolates with the 8 nines here. You can see the letters. Look, there's the A's, there's the I's, A's, J's. Look at that. And D's here. We did filter out with D's, right? D's. We did filter out A, D, I, J. Look at that. Look at those wins. Look at those wins. Okay. D, A, I. Okay, let's look at 1, 2. D's, I's. Look at that. Look at all the D's, I's, and J's. Okay. Not bad at all. So when you filter it down to 8 and 9s, you could catch those easy. All right. And look at the 8 and 9s. We're in Georgia, right? So let's turn off this and let's look at the 8 and 9s. Let's turn off everything, then turn on 8s and 9s. Let's see how they're hitting. Wow, look at that. Every single day, Georgia has 3 draws. Look at Monday, hit 3 of them. Okay, all the draws. Look at that. Every single day they're hitting. Okay, not bad. Let's look at the August month. Look at that. Not bad at all. Every day was hitting. Last week, the week before that, pretty much every day, and even 3 times a day. That's your play, guys. 8 and 9. 8 and 9, and you isolate that. This is one of the greatest strategies you can play. And when we get to the lotto pool, which hopefully we're going to be starting this week, hopefully you guys are going to join. We do something like this. We're going to play with the red and the green. But when we see the green, we're going to double up on the greens, okay? And I will be playing with you guys. And when I see you pick numbers, I'm going to be doubling up on the greens with you. So you double up something like this, or triple, quadruple, whatever. So if you have 5, it's going to be like 1,500, $750 we're going to win. We do 10, right? Because it's $1 a game. So we do $10 for this, and it's $1,500 this number would be worth. All right. And you're not the only one who's going to be able to play this one number. Other players will jump on board. So we're going to have like 10, 20 players playing in each pool. So it's going to be, right? 80 numbers could be chosen. 80 numbers, okay, throughout these whole 4 pools. So you play with 80 numbers, you're going to wind up winning. So if you wind up playing $1 in each, your number doesn't win, but somebody else's number wins, you share in it. Even if they won, their number won $1,500, you're going to be sharing in that. Because in turn, next time, they're going to be able to share in the $1,500. So it works out great. So I hope I see you guys in the lotto pool, and I hope you guys are going to be able to pick up on this strategy. It's one of the greatest strategy to reduce the numbers greatly and win huge. All you have to do is just figure out what's overdue. You could play multiple letters and also reduce them by just removing draws from here and playing the green. Okay? I wish you the best.